Witcher, 30-year-old Tamika Eggleton was arrested and later indicted on 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of endangering children. In September of 2023, Tamika gave birth to her new baby. According to court documents, the infant and her 1-year-old son had been placed in a foster care home together. On June 11, 2024, Tamika pleaded guilty as part of a plea deal, and 2 of the 5 counts were dropped. During sentencing, Tamika told the judge, "I should have never gotten him back. I wasn't fit to be a mother." Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, also delivered a statement. She faced Tamika directly and told her, "You are no mother. You're a monster." The judge sentenced Tamika Eggleton to a total of 31 to 35 years to life in prison, with 409 days credited for time served. If you'd like to see select new videos early and help us keep uncovering case files that rarely come to light, you'll find extra footage and unseen details on our Patreon. Casually walking down the street toward the Family Dollar. Her 1-year-old child in the back appears upright and alert, but 3-year-old Curtis is slumped over the front, completely unmoving in his seat. Given more time to think, Tamika recalls that Robert is the one who ultimately put him in the stroller.
He carried him, put him on his shoulder, put his seatbelt on him. We started walking the path that we said, and we went our separate ways.
So when you guys, was Robert planning to go to the Family Dollar with you?
I believe so. I can't really say. I believe he was, and he had received a phone call, and he kissed us, and he went his separate way.
But this remains to be seen, given Robert's claims he was at work all morning. Surveillance footage captures the moment she arrived at the Family Dollar around 3:08 p.m., but the video does little to support her claims that this is the moment she discovered the 3-year-old unresponsive. When she arrives, Tamika pushes the stroller to the side and simply stands around until a man hands her a flyer. She tucks it into the stroller and, without acknowledging her children, continues to simply linger nearby. Finally, she peeks into the store but doesn't appear to ask anyone for help before closing the door. Then, without ever once touching Curtis, checking for a pulse, or attempting to wake him, she heads inside and asks for a phone to dial 911. Only now does the gathering crowd realize the toddler is pale and unresponsive. Bystanders quickly pull him from the seat and lay him on the curb to perform CPR, while Tamika begins jumping up and down as if in a sudden state of panic. The store manager describes the whole incident as feeling staged.
Like, she didn't seem like a grieving mother. She didn't, we had asked her, like, so what do you want to do as an idea as far as services, stuff like that. She was walking around normally, like nothing really happened.
Regardless, given Tamika's death,
The baby that passed away, but he was buried in Georgia. She never mentioned the baby's name or anything like that. And all she said was, I got a child here and a child in Georgia that's already buried, and I don't know if I want to bury my child or cremate. We never even knew about the other
girls and another boy.
Curtis's foster mother, Michelle, raised and took care of him since he was just 1 week old. According to court documents, Tamika attended weekly visits, bonded with the baby, and even fed and changed him. However, as time progressed, she began threatening and cursing at caseworkers, refusing to take her medications, failing drug screens, and visiting less often. But according to Tamika, she had serious concerns about their level of care.
I had an issue with the foster people whooping him. That's when I woke up, and I'm like, it's still dark outside. Like, what is he crying for? He's like, oh, I just whooped him because he just peed through the bed. And if y'all go to my house, y'all will see in his drawers, the same drawers that he had on when he went to sleep, is sitting in my bathroom on the floor, pissy. His whole bed is still pissy, and that's in the living room.
Though not on the bathroom floor, crime scene investigators do locate a pair of stained children's underwear in Tamika's apartment bathtub.
He wasn't himself that morning. After he whooped him, he wasn't himself. He was coughing. He wasn't himself. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink nothing. I made his favorite food. He didn't even want to eat the pizza. That's still, if y'all go to my house, I even wrapped it up in aluminum foil, put it in a plastic bag. We was gonna eat it when we got home. He didn't even want to eat. He didn't want to drink no water. He didn't want nothing. He didn't want anything. So he probably still.
Would later confirm that Robert got on a bus to work as early as 8:19 a.m., nearly 7 hours before Tamika would begin her walk to Family Dollar. Time cards and surveillance would prove he remained at work until he received the call about his son. Additionally, after speaking with a neighbor, investigators learned that Tamika would often talk about Robert, complaining that he would not discipline the children or so much as raise his voice. Tamika's own foster mother would go on to describe her as someone who could lie very convincingly, but the evidence speaks volumes. Robert was released after spending one night in jail with no formal charges against him. In a devastating discovery, Curtis's autopsy revealed evidence that he had been beaten repeatedly in the months leading up to his death, a reality that cut deepest for his foster mother, Michelle. After he was returned to Tamika, Michelle still tried to visit and look after him, refusing to stop caring for the child she loved and had planned to adopt. 5 days following the murder of 3-year-old Curtis Witcher,
Potty train
You always cry when I leave.
So it was like we kind of figured, but we didn't know.
Robert did mention that she wanted him to discipline, but he said he didn't. He would.
And he never. We never like believe. We believe in disciplining our children, but not to that mental. He always wanted to be.
Say with my daughter, she'll tell you how much she loves me and how much I love her.
And my children, he raised my two children.
With him, how much I love him when he with me.
Robert claims that he wasn't even told why his son was placed in foster care in the first place. But according to police records, Curtis was removed from their care as an infant due to neither parent being able to provide stable housing, as well as Tamika's ongoing mental health issues, which, quote, interfere with her ability to provide adequate care for the children. Further records reveal that Tamika has lost custody of all of her children except 1-year-old John.
Then she mentioned about she had another baby that
Promising to stay away from Tamika, he spent the night with her on the eve of Curtis's murder. But by his account, Curtis was fine and unharmed when he left for work early the following morning, where he remained all day until receiving the tragic news of his son's death over the phone. Still, investigators act on Tamika's claims, not realizing the story they've been told is about to take a much darker turn.
You're going to be under arrest right now.
I love my son.
I understand.
I done nothing.
This is nothing personal, but because it's a
I love my
3-year-old,
man. That was my little man. I love my man.
you're going to be held overnight. We got to verify your story because she made
That was my little man.
a whole bunch of allegations.
That was my little man.
Okay.
He should have stayed in foster care if he was going to be like this.
Do the video and download the video from Splash Park and the surrounding project buildings?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did I send you a photograph of the female I was looking for?
Yes, you did.
Okay, did you see that female at any moment at the park on Wednesday the 14th?
No, she was never there.
Okay, and then you spoke to a worker there?
Yeah, we have a resident worker who mans the Splash Park when it's open, and she never saw that female or those children there either.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Sarge. I just wanted her to hear it.
You're welcome.
All right.
We was at that Splash Park. I promise you.
But even the paramedics who initially found Curtis in his tragic state noticed something was off with Tamika's story.
I guess she
But if
pushed
you saw
him there in the
water park, how
stroller.
did he end up at Dollar General? And
Doesn't make any sense.
it didn't appear to be, but he was wearing a bathing suit.
Aside from Curtis being completely in distress, the officer instead heads inside to speak with a store employee in the hopes of getting more information.
She says she was at a water park somewhere and her baby fell. She came in here and asked me if I would call 911. She said that nobody would call 911 for her. I don't know where it happened, but when she got here, The baby was unconscious.
He also learns the mother had a second child with her, and they both arrived in a double stroller.
The one that's in the ambulance,
know where I'm going,
the one
and then I'll go
that's,
back to you.
was perfectly fine was back here.
Yeah. Okay.
So when me and the white guy came outside, he just straight unstrapped him and took him out and laid him on the ground. And gave him CPR until you guys got here.
He was just limp.
Backup arrives and quickly gets caught up to speed.
Okay, so mom's right here in this white van. Ron's in the back of there. They've got a 3-year-old. They're working on him. I don't think she's not conscious, not breathing. They're doing CPR right now.
Do we know the circumstances?
Not the mother's hysterical right now, so I didn't even try to.
Life in foster care. Protective supervision ended only 3 months ago.
Why was he taken away from you?
I was hospitalized with him when I was pregnant for a couple months. I lost my home because I couldn't pay my rent because I was hospitalized for all them months. Basically, I grew up in foster care. I have no support. So they thought I couldn't take care of him because I didn't have support.
But this isn't the whole truth. And as the investigators are about to learn, getting any semblance of honesty from Tamika will be easier said than done. Already she's told an egregious lie about where Curtis suffered his injury, one that's easy enough to disprove. While at the hospital, Tamika told an officer the name of the splash park was at the Lonnie Burton Recreation Center, a 2-mile walk from the Family Dollar.
Can you hear me, Sergeant?
Yes.
All right. Did you review the video? And
His colleague gently presses Tamika to start telling the truth.
He had been deceased for some time, enough for his body temperature to give them that feeling of being cold and clammy. Does that make sense?
No, ma'am.
If he was unresponsive earlier than you thought, and you just don't want to say.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I didn't know.
He's with you, so.
Yes, when he was in the stroller, thought he was asleep. Both of my kids was asleep. They do this every time I put them in the stroller and we take a long walk. They will fall asleep. I'm thinking my baby is asleep. I'm not thinking my baby's dead or none of that. I'm not thinking like that. Just calm down.
When he returns, the detective shares a disturbing detail from Curtis's autopsy, one that set arrest, contempt of court, assault, and aggravated menacing. And despite a documented history of not completing drug screens or attending counseling, in January of 2023, Judge Allison Floyd ordered 3-year-old Curtis to be returned to his mother's full custody and terminated protective supervision. In her order, she ruled that the child's return to the home of Tamika Eggleton, quote, will not be contrary to the child's best interest.
the doctor said he had extremely amount of bruising, a lot in the neck area, in the midsection, and a lot of what she considered blunt force trauma. She also said the damage that was the fatal damage was a laceration to his heart, and that is caused by something striking him, something hard. And according to the medical examiner, that, okay, bad enough where even the tip of his penis was damaged.
Unsettling as it is, the worst details are still to come.
I don't whoop, sir. Right-handed, I don't whoop my kids.
Then who does?
Robert chastised them. Well, not them, but Robert chastised them. I don't whoop my kids.
Robert is the father of 3-year-old Curtis, as well as the 1-year-old and Tamika's unborn child.
Describe that then. What's he do?
Like he'll pop them, or like he'll punch them, or not like. No, not with a lot of force, or he'll hit him in his thighs, if he pee on himself, he'll chastise.
Investigators later sat down with Robert in an effort to confirm her claims, but by his account, Tamika is solely responsible for discipline, as he doesn't live with her and is rarely around the children.
So you don't know what her form of discipline is?
In my eyes, put him in the corner, don't give him no snack.
Take John, stupid, and I stayed, but he's all I have.
During one supervised visit in February, just 4 months earlier, Tamika reported to a caseworker that Robert had been abusing her for months and struck Curtis after he urinated on himself. Robert, however, denied any abuse at the time and said that he would stay away from Tamika.
He all I have. He's all I have, and if I get him in trouble, I have nothing. I have no support. I have nobody. Literally, I have nobody.
What are you protecting? What happened? Are you willing to go to prison for the rest of your life for Robert?
No.
There's no protecting anyone at this point. We need to know the truth.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what I know.
The more you continue down this path of trying to cover something, you're going to separate yourself from the child that you have now. And you're going to separate yourself from the child that
still, he probably just not on it. He's not feeling good. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm not thinking, he about to die or none of that. I'm not thinking none of that. He said that his chest was hurting from his dad whooping him. And when I confronted Robert about it, I was gonna be next. I'm so sorry. I should have never let him whoop him. I didn't know. I didn't know how severe it was.
The detective moves closer to Tamika, offering her comfort as she urges her to own up to an earlier lie.
So you never went to the splash park?
No! That was the story he told me to tell. Because he didn't.
Who told you to tell?
Robert.
He pretty much passed away immediately.
Given this fact, it's difficult to imagine Tamika would not have known the toddler was deceased before she placed him in the stroller, a part of her story that Robert's sister finds highly suspicious.
She was like, well, I put him in the stroller, and we walked to the plaza, and she said that when she was at the plaza, that's when she turned around and noticed that Curtis was unresponsive. She said she just bust out screaming, and then it was a crowd of people, and she said that a man came and got him out the stroller and did CPR.
That is true.
And by the time the paramedics, the police came, he was already gone.
According to the autopsy, the 3-year-old was likely deceased before he was ever put in the stroller. Abrasions and lacerations covered his head, neck, and torso, the bruising pattern consistent with being hit by...
Don't be like this. I would have left him there. He would have been better off there with them.
Robert's sister, who has been suspicious of Tamika's story from the start, enters the room to comfort her brother, and the detectives explain why he's been placed in handcuffs.
She finally admitted that she did not go to the splash park. Okay. But she's saying that she had to say that because Robert told her to stick to the story or you'll never see it again.
Just hold on, Poppy. Just hold on, Poppy. Just hold on, Poppy. That's why you have your job. That's why you have your job to back you up. And
so that's what we have to look into. And this is the key point. Okay, Curtis was heavily abused. He had bruises from head to toe.
The signs or what may have you, like, we had our suspicions.
So trying to tell me something.
Yeah, him, not being able to use the bathroom, potty train.
Where Curtis may have suffered the fall, but hit a dead end.
She said this happened at a water park. Is there like an outdoor kids
That's
pool
what I'm
or something
saying.
around
Not that I
here?
know of what kind of sprinkle machine would be over here. Because if it is, she walked
So the store's not a seal. No. She came in here with the kid already injured.
With no water parks nearby, officers radio their colleagues at the hospital, hoping they can ask the mom for a specific location.
Very hard to get any information from her right now. She's crying. She said the kid fell on his head at the water park. She put him in the stroller just for a little bit so he, calm down and recover. And then moments later, just happened. The kid was unresponsive.
Tragically, just 40 minutes after the initial call to 911, 3-year-old Curtis Witcher was pronounced deceased. His autopsy the next morning would shatter any notion of an accidental death. and following several shocking discoveries, his death was ruled a homicide. Tamika's 1-year-old is removed from her care to 911.
Cleveland EMS, what's the address to the emergency?
Yes, we need some paramedic here on 79th and Euclid here, and I believe it's Gordon Square.
Is this at the Family Dollar?
Stop breathing. I guess he fell at a park, a water park. She's been.
Officers with the Cleveland Division of Police arrive on scene, where paramedics have already begun life-saving efforts on 3-year-old Curtis Witcher, who is still unresponsive.
Did you see what happened in there?
No, he was not here. She came up and ran in the dollar store and asked all of us for our phones. We all called 911. I was on the ground with I don't mean to call him this, but the Caucasian man. He was giving them air, and I was trying to search for his pulse. He did not have a pulse since he got here.
I mean, what happened to the baby, though?
We don't know. She said he fell. Yeah, she in the
Okay.
She had 2 kids with her, a double
They said, are they going to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, we're going right now.
Okay, but do you know if he has a pulse yet, at least?
We're going to talk to her. She said in the back of the van.
And she's pregnant.